This episode of The Minimalists is brought to you by nobody, because
advertising sucks!
Every little thing you think that you need, every little thing you think that you need, every little thing that's just feeding your greed. Oh, I bet that you'd be fine without it.
hello, Madison. I'm not always in a wheelchair, but we were driving from Chicago up here, and right around the Illinois border, just passing the Illinois border, we stopped to get gas and
Josh got into a knife fight
with an 11-year-old. He was so mean. No, I opened my car door, a bottle fell out, it fell on the ground. I have no idea how this happened, but it just shattered, and it bounced up, and Ryan looks over and he goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I don't know." And I looked over, and I haven't seen this much blood in real life, ever. This was about 4 hours ago.
True story.
And so I go running, it's one of those Loves, the gas stations, right? Super clean, sanitary bathrooms. And I go running in there, and there's blood all over my boot. I used to have another boot that looked like this one, and now it's red. And there's blood all over my sock. Somehow it cut through my pants, cut through my sock, and then through my leg. And I go into the bathroom, and thank God my partner Rebecca she was there, and she has all kinds of first aid training, and she just started doing some ninjutsu, and there was just blood everywhere. Ryan walks into the bathroom, and the first thing I hear is, "Oh my God!" Am I right?
When I say there was blood everywhere, there was blood everywhere, all over the bathroom. But thank God there were two nurses who just happened to be there, and they saw Josh bleeding, and they were like, "Oh, we can help."
Yeah, it was a husband and wife couple, and they came in, and they were helping Bex stitch up my leg while Ryan was running around urinals panicking.
Well, Josh was so calm, someone had to panic.
But, we're not going to let that, just a little blood, stop us from being here tonight. Hey, y'all, let's record a podcast. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Joshua Fields Milburn.
And I am Ryan Nicodemus, and together we are the Minimalists.
Welcome to a live version of our podcast in Madison, Wisconsin. Hello, Madison. Thank you. Usually we take phone calls, but if you got out your phone right now and called us up, it'd be a little strange. Thank you. So we have a microphone around here somewhere, I'm pretty sure. And if you want to walk up to the front, Sean, where is the microphone? Is it over here?
At the stage left at house right, if I'm correct.
So if you want to walk up here and start with questions, we will start with some long-winded answers. You can ask a regular question, and we'll maunder on until we come toward some sort of détente with your question. And And then we'll move on to a lightning round. Now, usually Ryan and I have a long time to think and just ruminate over what we're going to respond, because our lightning round, we try to respond with less than 140 characters to people. But since we have 7 seconds instead of 7 days, we've turned it into a rap battle. Without rapping. I think you'll see what I mean in a few moments. But before we dive in, are we up here with a microphone somewhere, Sean? Okay, cool. It's right up here on my left, your right, unless you're facing the same way I am. Thank goodness.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
What's your name? Where are you from? And then what's your question? Hopefully in that order.
I'm Liz.
Hey, Liz.
And I live in Madison, Wisconsin, where
Awesome.
you guys are right now. And I do have a question. Me and my roommate, we're going to be moving in June, and we're really excited. And I have been listening to your podcast. She has not. And I'm just wondering if you have any suggestions on our move. We do have a minimalist packing party that we are going to be doing with us and our cats. Our cats will not be participating, but we plan on, we're moving into a place that's a lot smaller than our place right now, but we want to hear about tips, and I want you to give her some tips. So that'd be great. Thank you.
Well, a few questions for you. Don't leave the microphone yet. You're not off the hook. So are you moving in town?
Yeah, we're moving to Madison. We're moving from a Madison apartment to another Madison apartment, but
Gotcha.
it's smaller than, it's
Okay.
about 500 square feet smaller than our current place.
And you have 2 roommates now, so it's you and
No,
it's you and one of the roommates, so it's 2 people together.
2 people, 3 cats.
Okay. I love that sitcom. It's the one with Charlie Sheen, right?
Yeah, I think that's the one.
Okay. Anyway, so you're moving to a smaller place, and in that smaller place, you are hoping to have fewer things than you currently have. Is that correct?
Of course, and we already did the Minimalist challenge where we got rid of 1 item each day, like 1 item.
She's talking about the 30-day minimalism game.
Yes.
You partner up with, there's someone who played it.
Yes.
And won, it sounds like. Everybody wins the 30-day minimalism game.
Everyone wins.
Unless you lose. The way it works is you partner up with someone beginning of the month. You each get rid of 1 item on the first day. It's friendly competition. We all know decluttering is boring as hell. And so we found a way to make it a little more fun with some friendly competition. First day of the month, you each get rid of 1 item. Second day of the month, 2 items. So it starts off really easy to give you that momentum you need. But by the middle of the month, it gets much more difficult, right? By day 15, it's like, what 15 items am I going to get rid of today? Day 20, what 20 items am I going to get rid of today? Because tomorrow I have to get rid of 21 items. And so the minimalism game is a way to give you that momentum. Whoever goes the longest between the 2 of you wins. And if you both make it to the end of the month, you've both won because you've made it
496 items total at a 30-day minimalist game.
That is correct. Now, our minimalist family did this a few months ago, and we modified the rules because we don't own more than 496 items, I don't think. But Ella does, and she's 3. And so we just got rid of her stuff, and it was so easy. No, you can modify the rules however you want. So let me ask you this: why do you want to have fewer things in this new space? You personally, not your roommate, but why do you personally?
I personally like to have less things.
Why?
I guess it just makes things more tidy.
Yes.
In a
Aesthetically
way.
pleasing.
Yes, and every place has a place in your apartment. So, like, if it's a coffee maker, you know where it goes. If it's a
I think
fork,
everyone here knows where their coffee maker goes. I hope.
It's just everything has a place in your apartment, so you're not shoving things. Like we have a cupboard full of Tupperware.
Yeah.
That is like you open it, things fall out of.
Did you get it at a Tupperware party?
That'd be great to have. But of course, we need Tupperware to pack our lunches to like make our week go by our week to go by nicer because we prep our foods, we take a lunch to work, things like that. So things that we need, but at the same time, we want to not have a lot of stuff.
What about your roommate? Does she want? I'm saying she. I'm assuming it's a she.
Yes, it is a she.
Okay.
I have less kitchen stuff than her.
Okay.
Yes, I like kitchen things because I like to cook.
So she has fewer kitchen items, and
Yes.
And why does your roommate, from your words, want to have fewer things?
Well, the way that we think differently is a thing like she sees things as a collection. Like if she bought things together, it's like, yeah.
So
it's an OCD thing. It's an OCD thing.
So she wants collections of things, but
say that you have.
Well, hold on, I get it. So like, if you have a collection of things, you can count it as one thing, and that's fewer things, right?
No.
Okay.
We have an obscene
So you have,
amount of
all right, well
coffee
mugs.
mugs.
We'll stick it to the microphone because people at home can't hear you shouting, although I appreciate it. Just a tangent on collections. Collecting is well-planned hoarding, right? I mean, we all realize this. It's just, I guess, some hoards are more appropriate than others, right? Yeah. Across the street from me, there's a hoarder's house, and they don't have curtains just because they have boxes of stuff stacked all the way up, and you can't see into the house. And I suppose that's the unhealthy kind of collecting. There's some other collections that are much healthier than that. Anyway, I hope that answers your question. No, so let me answer your question. Now you're at the perfect time to assess your stuff. This is the time where you're literally forced to deal with every single thing that you own. That's why Ryan did his packing party, because he knew, I'm not moving right now, but the times when I have moved, I've had to deal with things. And oh, by the way, when I went over to help him with the packing party, he still had boxes in his garage from the last time he had moved that still hadn't been open. And most of you have experienced that as well. They may not be in your garage, they're in a closet or attic or somewhere else. But there are so many things that we move from place to place to place. What's the old George Carlin joke? He said, our houses are just like graveyards for our stuff. And it kind of feels that way. And so now is the time where you are forced to come to terms with the things you have in your life. And you're going to want to start asking that question. Does this add value to my life? And you have to be honest with yourself. And if the answer is no, or I don't think so, then let it go. It's okay. And implement some rules in your life going forward, because getting rid of the clutter is the first step. But then we want to be careful not to bring clutter back in. So ask that same question when we're bringing new things into our lives. It's equally as important, because otherwise, a year from now, you'll be asking the same questions.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that you guys are doing the packing party. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, it might be different from yours because we're gonna pack things and then we're gonna unpack them. We're not gonna wait 2 weeks because we can't do that.
That's cool.
We're
hold on.
OCD.
Why can't you?
I have a cat that pees on things when things
that's
are boxed up.
No.
So I can't wait around 2 weeks to unpack things.
No. But he unpacked only the things he used
really
over 3
out.
weeks. So on that first day, you literally unpack everything you need. You need a litter box, you unpack it. You need a toothbrush, you unpack it, right?
Yeah.
You did
We don't
have
like
litter
boxes.
for the cat, right?
Yes. No. It's funny because I had a mound of toys for my cat, And I remember like I just like got one of the whatever toy I had, some kind of squishy ball thing that he was an awesome cat. It like played fetch. It was great. And it was like the ball that we always played fetch with. And I was like, oh, all right, like I'll sit there and play fetch with you. And you know what? Like he didn't feel deprived of all the other toys. Like, he still had a blast. I mean, you can take whatever approach you want, you know. Josh and I are here to just share our recipe, and if there are ingredients that work for you to make your own recipe, great. But I don't think anyone could totally mimic my packing party or Josh's paring down over months. So you guys are doing the packing party. That's awesome. I guess if you're going to take the approach where you're going to unpack stuff right away, I got to tell you, this is not much of a packing party. No offense. Whatever your approach is, I would just echo what Josh said about the rules. Set some guidelines for yourself before you start unpacking everything into your new home. Because I'll tell you, like when Josh came over and it was time to start sorting stuff into donate, sell, recycle, I was like going through every item and I had that just in case syndrome where I had like 40 coffee cups. And I'm like, well, if 39 of them break, I've got another one. And I remember I'm like going through this stuff in my head and like trying to talk myself into hanging on to all these little things. And Josh, he had a 50-gallon trash bag and he was just like sweeping stuff into it. Like,
it is so much easier to get rid of other people's stuff. So you could have some fun knowing that if you're helping each other out.
So as Josh is sweeping stuff into the bag, I'm like, dude, what are you doing, man? Like, I gotta go through that stuff. Like, I just don't want to sweep stuff into the bag. And he's like, what? He's like, what about this mug right here? It says "World's #1 Granddad" on it. Like, when are you ever gonna use that? And I'm like, well, I haven't really used it. I don't even know where the heck I got it. But, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to use it. But, again, I drink coffee. And in case 39 cups of my 40 cups break, then, that'll be my backup to my backup to my backup to my backup. Anyway. So Josh was like, when's the last time you used that? And I'm like, yeah, I've never used that cup. And it kind of made me instill this is like the first rule I ever took on. It was, if I hadn't used it in the last year, and I didn't plan on using it within the next year, like I felt pretty good about getting rid of that just-in-case item. Mm-hmm. So I took that approach with all of that stuff that I had packed up. I think now it's more like 90 days on either side. There are some exceptions to the rule, like my snowboard. I'm not going to snowboard in May or... you might. It's snowing
November. In Montana right now.
Used to be able to snowboard in November in Montana, but not anymore. But anyway, there are exceptions to that rule. But having rules like that, that's really what's going to help you determine what is the most important things that you need in your new apartment. And the just-in-case rule, like that, has been a lifesaver for Josh and I, where you can replace anything that you're holding on to just in case. If you haven't used it in the last year and you're not going to use it within the next year, you could probably get rid of it. And if it ever comes up again, we're like, oh shoot, like I should have held on to that HDMI cable that was sitting in my junk drawer. Like I guarantee you, within less than 20 minutes and for less than $20, you can go replace an HDMI cable. And that rule, it sounds at first like, oh, well, I don't want to have to like go and spend $20 every single day when I need something. If that's how it worked, we wouldn't suggest that. That's silly. Josh and I, we have been implementing that rule for the last 5 years now?
5 years, yeah.
And we've used it, I can count on one hand, combined, how many times we've used that. And like, I'll give you one example. It was really silly. Like, I used to always have a toothbrush in my travel bag. It was like an extra toothbrush.
But now he doesn't travel with a toothbrush.
Right, now I don't brush my teeth.
Minimalism.
Minimalism. And I had it there just in case. Like, well, what if something happens? Like, what if I lose that toothbrush I pack with me, or, you know, it falls in the toilet and I got that backup toothbrush. And I got rid of it a couple years later. Like, you know, it turned out that like I forgot to bring my toothbrush with me. And there was this moment of like, oh man, I usually have an extra toothbrush in my bag. But I don't even think I'd spend, actually it was a free toothbrush I got from the lobby, like downstairs in the hotel. So it wasn't even 20 minutes and it didn't cost me anything. But it's a very freeing thing when you can come up with things like rules like that, where you feel confident with, and you can let stuff go and know that, yeah, like you're not going to be able to prepare for every situation, but if you have some very specific rules in your life, like you can prepare for most situations without hoarding a bunch of stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's do at least one more long-winded answer, and then we'll see where we are before we move on to the lightning round.
All right.
Howdy,
Hi,
what's your
guys.
name?
Stephanie from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So nice. It's not just me, and I'm glad you're still coming to Wisconsin or Milwaukee in December.
There's no better time to go to Milwaukee than December.
Right. So, you guys are minimalists, but you definitely bring maximum hustle. And so, my question is, you have all of the work that comes with being the minimalists, right? But then in the past couple of years, you've launched Asymmetrical Press, you've launched Bandit Coffee, among writing books and doing documentaries. And so my question is, first, what drives you to achieve all of these different things? And then I guess beyond that, how are you spinning up all of these different side hustles without also spinning up maximum mental clutter?
Solid.
That's a great question. You know, I'll say, like, when you call yourselves the minimalists, everything becomes ironic. I mean, there's not a very minimal amount of people here tonight. No, you know, at the end of the day, Josh and I know it seems like we're really, really busy. And, you know, if Josh and I would have started this whole thing with, if I went to him after that packing party and said, dude, we could start a blog, we can write 3 books, we could start a documentary, we could start a publishing company, I could start a mentoring business, you could start a writing class, we could go on tour. I mean, if that's how we would have started, we would have...
But first we have to start a coffee shop.
Right, but first we have to start a coffee shop. We would have gotten nowhere. And what Josh and I have done over the last 6 years is very deliberately have chosen the things that we want to focus on. So for all those things that you just mentioned, there are dozens of other things. I dare say like hundreds of other things we have said no to in order to say yes to the coffee shop, in order to say yes to Asymmetrical Press, in order to say yes to this tour that we're on this year. You know, I would love to sit here and say that Josh and I, we have this secret formula. We have this secret formula to do all these things just by ourselves. And if you buy all 3 of our books, you'll have all the answers. I mean, it just doesn't work that way.
Ryan, I imagine you standing in front of a chalkboard with like the quadratic formula behind you. I don't think it works that way, though.
Yeah, no.
We don't have the formula.
No, it doesn't. But what I'll say is that when it comes to Asymmetrical Press, I mean, we're not in that by ourselves. That is a press that we started with Colin Wright. He came to us in 2012, and he had like this really weird Venn diagram business plan drawn up that I really didn't understand. But as he talked me through it, I started to understand more and more. And there are tools out there that we use that, yeah, we don't have to have like a warehouse full of books. We had friends who were already writing that we wanted to kind of coach through the publishing process. And yeah, it's a great adventure that we've been on. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've got 5 authors, 6 authors?
It's 6.
Yeah.
I count. Well, you can count Colin 3 or 4 times.
Right.
He's 32 years old. Has written 36 books.
Yeah, but we don't have like this big publishing warehouse. I mean, it's kind of a side hustle or a side project or a side passion that you can kind of look at it that way. When it comes to the coffee shop, we have some amazing partners who we met them because they took some photos of us, and we were just having a conversation about what they wanted to do, and they were talking about how they were just in their current roles and they wanted to get out, and they did photography on the side. That was their side hustle, and they're like, eventually we're going to open up a coffee shop. And all the cards just kind of fell in place to where Josh and I were able to contribute and partner with those guys in St. Petersburg to open up that coffee shop. But I guess to make this long answer short, Josh and I, we pick one thing a year to focus on. And this year it's this tour. Last year it was spreading our word, our message, our story with the documentary. In 2014 it was a 100-city tour. In 2015 we donated so much of our time to building schools and wells and other things. But because we can say no to so many other things, like we can say yes to these side hustles, I guess. And at the end of the day, I have a friend who she's a writer, she's an artist, she's an actress. She really loves to do all these things, and she's like, Ryan, show me how to make money off my passion. And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way. Like the biggest piece of advice I could give to her was you pick one thing, like you put everything into it. And if you can add value and if people love your work, like you're going to figure out a way to make ends meet. She's like, I knew you were going to say that. I can't just pick one thing. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, she has this, starving artist lifestyle that is it works for her well. But she knows that she's choosing to kind of do everything at once. If Josh and I try to do everything at once, like I said, it would not have worked. Like what we've done over the last 6 years is built up these layers, I guess. And I wish I could say that like Josh and I are just hustling like crazy and that's how him and I make it work. But we have so many people around us that help us make everything work.
Yeah, I would just add to that real quick. You asked what drives us. It's our values that drive us, and we're really clear on what our values are. And so on top of that, the other thing that drives us is we make sure that any of the decisions we make, that the financial side of things is never the primary driver. And I say primary very specifically. It's going to always be a part of the equation if you're doing some sort of business, because you can't just constantly lose money on a business and call that a business plan. It's not. That's an expensive hobby. But it's never the primary question, and eventually it becomes part of the equation at some point. And in some things, we will lose money. That tour that Ryan talked about in 2014, we lost money on that tour. We lost a significant amount of money, and we learned a lot from that process. We did 100 cities, 119 events. They were all free, and we had to rent out some spaces by the end of it because the message was spreading so much. And so many of the spaces you see in the documentary were just places we had to rent out out of our own pocket, and that is an equation for failure if you do that into perpetuity. And so what we learned is, next time we do a tour, how do we at least break even, and in doing so, contribute along the way? So on this tour, Ryan and I don't really make any money. We'll be lucky to break even, and I think we will. But what I have learned is that we can surround so this is the third thing, we surround ourselves with very capable people. So we have Sean Harding, who is called Podcast Sean on the podcast. He's back here somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, Podcast Sean. And Sean is really the man behind the minimalism. He makes everything that we do sound more polished, and he does a lot of hard work. He's our tour manager while we're on the road, and just an all-around outstanding guy. And it would be nearly impossible to do this without you, Sean. So really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. And we also have Jessica Williams around here somewhere. She handles she's way back there in the back. And she'll be at the merch. Yeah, hey, Jess. She'll be at the merch booth afterward. I'm pretty sure my leg will heal if each of you buy at least 2 books. No, I'm kidding. In fact, when we leave here tonight, when you leave here tonight, if you're welcome to pick up a book. If you do, please minimize it afterward. Find someone else to donate it to, either a library, friend, family member, enemy, anyone you want to give the book to. And if you can't afford a book, if you just forgot your wallet, that's fine. You can come up afterward, and it's on us. Let us buy you a copy of the book, as long as you're willing to pass it on after the fact. And so Jess will be out there. She also helps us out with our social media, and so the reason all of our social media looks so curated and beautiful is she does an outstanding job with that. She also helps out with our minimalist.org. So we have 100 free local meetup groups, including in Madison. And so there are free local meetup groups because people would come up to us after our tour stops, and they'll say, hey, how do I connect with open-minded people locally? And I would say, I don't know. But good luck. And then we'd leave town and we'd be gone. And so what we did is we left behind these free local meetup groups in 100 cities, so you could, once we were gone, there's a bunch of not like-minded people here, but open-minded people. You probably have different beliefs. The people in this room have different beliefs, but you have similar values. And so my values drive me. I think Ryan's values drive him. And even though we have different beliefs, that's okay. Can I tell you a secret? We voted for 2 different people in the last election. Oh my God, how could you be best friends with someone who didn't vote for the same person as you? Or how about this? We have different religious beliefs. We have different personalities. He's an extrovert, I'm an introvert. He's really in the moment, like zen in the moment. And I plan everything out 6 months in advance. And that's okay, because those beliefs, they get us to the same values. We just take different paths to get there. So that's what drives me. I surround myself with great people, make sure they're adequately compensated, because I don't need much. As long as I can provide for my family, I feel great about that. So I don't put the money first, but it will be part of the equation.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, let's do one more long-winded, and then we'll hop into the lightning round. What's your name?
My name's Amy from Madison, and I have a feeling my question might be good for the lightning round.
Perfect.
Anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is... Ryan, what time is it?
It is time for our hashtag Ask the Minimalists lightning round.
Cool. Well, we are on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, right, Jess? Facebook. Yeah. Okay. At the Minimalists. And usually you can like tweet your questions to us, and we try to answer it during our lightning round in like this pithy, less than 140 character response. And Ryan and I will pore over this for days and like, how can I make this even shorter and more like effective? But now we're gonna battle it out, and you are the judge. And so we'll try to maunder on a bit until we get down to some concision that we can make tweetable. And you all can share it as well. If you like, you can share it on social media. In fact, if you share any photos or anything from the night, if you use hashtag #LessIsNow, because that's the name of the tour, Less Is Now, we will repost some of our favorite images and tweets and all that other fun stuff. Amy, what's your question?
It's about something that's very, very dear to my heart. Gail Ambrosius Chocolates is right across the street. Theoretically, how vast of a chocolate collection would a minimalist have?
Man, we're going to call 2 audibles in a row with you, I think. I love chocolate. I don't know where David is, but Live Nation is the promoter for the tour. This is our 8th tour in 7 years, and it's our first proper tour, though. And so we actually have like a tour promoter, and David is here from Live Nation, and he bought me a bag of chocolates from the place across the street.
Oh, yay.
And I have not eaten them yet because I'm going to eat a chocolate right now. And How about Sky Steele, who opened up for us tonight? How awesome was that? So Sky is a musician, obviously, and you know how musicians used to put out like cassette singles back in the day? Well, it's a college town. They may not remember the cassettes.
Yeah, cassettes.
Yeah, cassettes. So they put out a single, and like you would have this whole like almost a sensory experience, not just a multi-sensory experience. It wasn't just I'm going to listen to this music, which is beautiful, but I'm going to unwrap this cassette. And then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to read the liner notes and the dedications and the acknowledgments and who wrote the song. And that was awesome, but we don't have that anymore because we have Spotify or whatever. And I'm grateful for that. Now I no longer have to own 2,000 CDs that are alphabetized on my wall. I'm the one with OCD out of the pair. Anyway, I don't have to own those CDs anymore because they're right there at my fingertips, but I still like having these sensory experiences with my music. And so Sky said, instead of just selling a single with on a cassette or a disc or whatever, how about I create an experience for my music? So he found the perfect chocolate to pair his single with. It's from a company called Bloodchocolate. They're out of Chicago. And they made a chocolate specifically for his single. And so maybe if we could ask Sky to come out here and play that single, and maybe Ryan and I will eat some chocolate in front of you.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sky Steele. Can I get a short hug? Thanks, brother. You know, I just realized that there is like blood all over my pants. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
I got it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to brag for a second on Sky. This is Vanessa Carlton's violinist. Has anyone heard of Vanessa Carlton? Yeah. We are so lucky to have him with us.
Wait, don't eat both of them. Again. Thank you. Yeah, can you tell us about this?
Yeah, so...
Do you need this thing? Okay, go for it.
Go for it.
So my friend Katrina, her whole thing with chocolate is telling stories. So I said her the song, and I said, can you tell this story in chocolate? And, chocolate traditionally was used ceremonially by a lot of indigenous cultures as sort of a heart-opening substance. So the song is a love song for the earth, and she put some flavors in there that she thought would sort of take you on that experience and heighten the experience of connecting to the earth, connecting to the natural world. So we're going to let you guys go.
What's in the chocolate?
The chocolate, it's got...
and did we bring enough for everyone?
I brought enough for everyone. And everything in the chocolate is legal in some places. No, it's all legal everywhere.
Wait. You know what I found out last night?
Legal everywhere.
Did you already eat it? Did you eat it?
No, it's right here, man.
Oh.
You know what I found out last night?
What?
Sky has not tried one of the chocolates yet.
Because he's always playing the damn song.
I know. I'm like, so last night I offered, I was like, why don't you give me your violin? I'll play the song.
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Ryan, cheers.
All right. Now take your time. You got to make the chocolate last.
Yes.
That's part of the thing. All right. Okay, let's let them be a little... We don't want them to have to eat in front of all these people, so we'll put them in the dark a little bit. All right. In the side of the mountain, I see your face. Swimming in the river, I feel your embrace.
Fuck, that's good.
And at the waterfall, the song you sing comes to me like a dream. And at the waterfall, the song me, comes to me.
Can I finish your chocolate,
Like a
Josh?
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Sky.
That's so good. Well, let's do one more chocolate and one more song.
It's like a box that pairs with the album or something. Okay. So Sky will have these after the fact out there. He's selling his new single, and you can eat it. So that's my short answer to your question. It had something to do with chocolate. I think 2 is apparently the appropriate amount. Yes, it's a shared experience. All right, let's move on to the rest of the lightning round.
Wait, we had to answer her question about chocolate.
What?
About
That didn't answer her question?
Well, no, it was how much chocolate does
How
a
many-
minimalist have? 2 pieces. Okay, gotcha.
How many songs do I have to play?
Oh man. All right. Well, I guess that was the answer. No, I was thinking of a tweetable answer. I'm just gonna warm up for the lightning round.
I was just going to tweet a link to that song.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how much chocolate you eat.
What?
Doesn't matter how much chocolate you eat. If you have a void, chocolate's probably the last thing that's gonna fill that void.
Ooh, that's solid. Ryan Nicodemus for the win on that one.
Thank you. Very
How about this? I'll try to steal on this. Food is not entertainment, but that sure was.
That's good.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you very much.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Howdy. What's your name?
I'm Kate. I'm from Madison.
Sweet.
So my question is, I'll make it very quick. What if you have a partner who has no interest in becoming a minimalist, but you do?
But you do.
I mean, I do.
You have
So
interest.
I want to. We live together, and he has no interest in it.
Why?
Stubbornness, probably.
Interesting. So how might his life be better with less?
I can think about how much my life would be better with less of his stuff, but
You know what? Isn't it funny? And I totally get where you're coming from. Isn't it funny though how we get into a spot where everything happens to us. It's hard to like. I mean, if I'm watching TV, it's like my screen or my phone or it's my things. And it's hard for us to step into the other person's shoes. So when I say how might his life be better, you know how your life would be better with less, right? I mean,
Right.
and the reason I ask how would his life be better with less, then we start to think like, well, I know how mine would be. And so, I mean, my actual short answer to your question is, how might his life be better with less? And if you can answer that, and you can answer it adequately, anyone can be inspired to let go of what's superfluous.
thank you.
Yeah, I wish like there was this magic answer to say like, oh, this is how you have your partner become a minimalist. Like this is the way to do it. At the end of the day, like it's not how it works. It's a long process. In fact, if Josh would have come to me and said, hey man, I found this thing called minimalism and you'd like it because you got a lot of shit, I probably would have just looked at him and been like, well, first I would have felt judged, and then I would have projected that judgment, And I would have been like, oh yeah, whatever, screw you. Like I don't need that. But seeing the benefits is what really made me go to him and ask him that question. What I'll say, Mariah, she's not a minimalist. I mean, she has pared down her things significantly since we met, but like I never asked her to do any of that. What I'll say is that Mariah and we have very similar values, very similar beliefs, and we go out of our way to support each other. So I think my short answer would be, in order to have meaningful relationships, you must support those people, but it's impossible to support someone if they don't support you back.
I think I pulled that one out. We tied it up, Nicodemus. All right, we tied up. That means it's time to go into a tiebreaker question. Who do we have up here?
Hey, my name's Richard. I'm from Madison.
Hey, Richard.
First off, shout out to my girlfriend. We had a big date night planned tonight, but I forgot I ordered tickets months ago, so we had to cancel. I love you, honey bunny, wherever you are. So let's start off with that.
I'm sure she appreciates that.
So about a year ago, I worked at a gas station, living check to check. I was drinking every day. I was out of shape. I was living with my friend's mom. I didn't have a car. And then over the past year, I got a really good job with, healthcare. Moved up to Madison, cleaned myself up. I got a car. And I kind of developed this weird neurotic drive for setting goals and achieving them because you get that euphoria from it. I don't necessarily have like a materialistic kind of like hoarding, but I often like hoard goals where it's like, I've achieved so much so quick and I want to keep doing it, but like I never find myself happy because like, I'll achieve this and that, but I'll always have, those other goals. So I guess my question is, how do you like minimalize the mental clutter or like the mental like goals or dreams that you have to deal with that?
Yeah, I think it's an important question. So I'll tell you, a few years ago, back 2011, 2012, I got rid of all my goals. I let go of goals. Now, in the corporate world, I used to be the goal guy. I had spreadsheets of goals. I had career goals. I had financial goals. I had personal goals. I had vacation goals. I had consumer purchasing goals. Goals. And I was pretty good at achieving a lot of them. I was the youngest director in my company's 140-year history. At age 27, I was responsible for 150 retail stores. And I got there, and it was like, wait, I am not winning. I achieved the goal, but I was always looking over the shoulder of the present moment, figuring out what the next goal was going to be. And it stressed me the hell out. And so I decided to get rid of my goals I ended up getting rid of my goals for 100 days. But when I first set out to do it, I didn't say, I'm going to get rid of my goals for 100 days, because I didn't want to make it a goal. I said, I'm just going to try this for a while, because these goals are stressing me out. They're not doing, I'm supposed to, if I achieve these goals, I'm supposed to be happy. But I was like, wait a minute. Why would I be happy? One of the goals, have $1 million in the bank, right? Have $1 million. I was really far away from that goal because I had debt. I made really good money, but spent even better money. And so that goal wasn't going well. But then I thought to myself, well, why do I want $1 million? Well, because then I'll be happy. Well, why? Well, because then I could tell myself I could be happy. Well, can I just tell myself now? And then if I were to achieve that, great, there's nothing wrong with money. Ryan and I sure aren't allergic to money, but it's not going to define my happiness. It's going to allow me to make either better decisions with my life because I'm already making good decisions, or if I'm making bad decisions, it's going to enable me to make much worse decisions. That's why most lottery winners end up broke and in a much worse position than when they started. And so I decided to let go of my goals. And instead, I said, how about if I just start traveling in the direction I want to travel? Not having a specific goal, but knowing where generally I'm going to go. That's going to give me the flexibility I need. So my short answer to you is let go of your goals and instead travel in the right direction. Bottom of the ninth, Nicodemus.
Oh, I'm sure you're going to win, Josh. No, it's funny. It made me go back to my friend who had the 3 things that she really wanted to focus on. She wanted to be like an amazing poet / writer and an amazing artist and actress. And when I look at that, I tried to, like, as she was pushing back, like, I knew you'd say just pick one thing. I tried to push back, and I'm like, well, you don't have to just like abandon everything else, but you do have to focus at least on one thing. And I think about the goals I had when I first started this whole journey. And I started one at a time. I started with getting rid of my car payment. And then I moved to getting rid of my mortgage, selling my house. And I would kind of move through these things one at a time. Now, if I would have put 10 things on my plate at once, like literally, Josh, like 2010, 2009, he came up with this amazing spreadsheet, this goals spreadsheet, where it was literally like 10 places for 10 goals. You pick your top 10 goals.
Because everyone has more than 10, so you have to pick your top 10.
Right. And then, there's like different columns for things and concatenated formulas and different pages on this thing. And at first I was like,
did you hear one person giggle because they're like the Excel person in the room?
Right. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, I can totally keep track of my progress and the next steps and what I really need to do to get these goals reached. And let me tell you what happened with a spreadsheet of 10 goals. Nothing happened. It was so watered down. It was so overwhelming that, maybe I was like 20% to one and 40% to another and 30%. Well, let me tell you what 20 and 30 and 40% means when working towards a goal. It's really not that much. And that's all I had, is I had a lot of goals that were not very close to being reached. So what I would say, I guess my short answer would be, don't water down your goals with more goals, but regardless of how many goals you have, it doesn't mean anything without taking massive action.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, so I am going to apologize to anyone else who wants to ask a question at this point. I see a cluster of people.
I got to veto this.
Okay.
Where's this young man that was sitting here that had a question? Come here, man.
There we go.
Oh, he doesn't have to come up if he doesn't want to. No worries. All right, he's tired. All right, Josh, close this out. That's a great question. 8 years old. But this is why we do this. Like, the fact that an 8-year-old can show up to the event and get something out of it, like, that means the world to me. If it was just him that got something out of it, like, that'd be totally worth it.
So for the people listening at home, the question was, how does minimalism apply to kids? And we have an 8-year-old here who's asking this question. Ryan, you're a kid.
Oh man, I wish I was that smart when I was 8 to like think about minimalism doing something for my life. It wasn't until I was 28 until I realized that might be a good way to go. I guess the tweetable answer would be Josh.
No matter your age, no matter your race, no matter your level of income, no matter your perceived status, everyone can benefit from living a more meaningful life.
That's good. Yeah. Man, maybe I'll just concede on this one. Yeah, that was good, man. I guess, all right, this isn't nearly as awesome as that answer, but I think I would just say, if kids, this is kind of tongue-in-cheek, so I'm just going to preface it with that. Kids, become minimalists now before you have to in the future.
Ryan Nicodemus with the win. Plus, he got a bonus point for carrying me onto the stage tonight. I gotta apologize real quick to the other folks who wanted to ask questions. I'd love to stay here all night and talk to all of you, but I know eventually they would kick us out of here, and we need to move on to our added value portion of the show. This is where Ryan and I talk about what's been adding value to our lives recently. And let's do it with a local twist tonight. Ryan, what has been adding value to your life in Madison, Wisconsin?
Oh, man. I am totally drawing a blank on the name of this restaurant I just ate at. Wait,
oh, wow.
why don't you tell your added value, and I'm going to look it up real quick.
Deal. All right. There's a Blue Plate Diner right across the street that I ate at for dinner. And they serve breakfast all day, which is always a win in my book. So for those of you at home who are traveling through Madison, Wisconsin, you can't go wrong with the sweet potato frittata over at the Blue Plate Diner.
All right, I found it. So there's this restaurant 2 doors down that serves Lao food. So Josh ate a Blue Plate, and I ate at, am I saying this right? Lao Lan Zhang restaurant? Okay, all right. I heard someone say, yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Lao Lan Zhang.
Lao Lan Zhang. No,
was
it was
authentic?
Unbelievable. I had the zucchini, the squash curry. Unbelievable. Oh my goodness,
what's
so
up.
good.
Look at that.
And what's funny is I ordered chicken, and I got back here and they gave me tofu, and I was like, oh, daggone it, they kind of got my order wrong. I was not upset. It was still freaking amazing. So if you haven't eaten there, it's definitely good. I was in Laos a couple years ago when I was the school that I had mentioned earlier. We built a school over in Laos, and the food there, it was really, really good. But we're not in Laos, and it's even better over there. So so check it out.
All right, well, real quick, let's move on to right here, right now. This is where we get to talk about what's going on in the lives of the minimalists. When I'm done bleeding, what Ryan and I are going to do is we're actually in the process right now of building a podcasting and film studio. We're trying to do a lot more film stuff with our podcast, just with our message in general. The documentary that we put out last year called Minimalism, yeah, someone watched it. A few of you watched it. That's great. It really resonated with a lot of people, and it showed people that minimalism wasn't a radical lifestyle, it was a practical lifestyle. We want to do more with video, but that costs a lot of money. So we are in the middle of building that podcast and film studio. It's going to take quite a bit of capital to do that. So we are looking for some support because we refuse to clutter the podcast with any advertisements whatsoever. And so if you'd like to support us, you can just go to theminimalists.com and click on the little donate button there. We're doing something called Patreon. So you can donate on a per episode basis, and that's going to help us build that. It's also going to help us pay Podcast Sean a full-time living wage for doing the podcast. And by the way, none of that money goes to me or Ryan. If there's any additional funds left over. Oh, and we're going to hire a full-time filmmaker as well with those funds. So if there's any money left over, it's going to go to charity. Speaking of charity, if you can't afford to make any kind of contribution to the podcast, totally understand that. If you'd still like to support us, you can just go over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a review this month, which is May 2017. For everyone who leaves a review, we're going to donate $10 to a charity in your name. Now, we picked a special charity this month. Did y'all know that man, out of everyone who's ever lived on planet Earth, half of those people have died from malaria? And we'd like to help out a little bit with that. And so what we're doing is we're donating $10 for every review we get this month, which helps spread our message. It gets it in front of more people, more ears, but it also allows us to do something cool with this charity as well. So we're going to donate $10 to the Against Malaria Foundation. They estimate it costs about $3,500 to save one life. So buy enough mosquito nets and treatments over the course of a lifetime to save one life. So if we get 350 reviews, which there's nearly twice that here tonight, you could save, about 2 lives if you were all willing to hop on and leave a review. And by the way, if the people at home left a review, we would save a lot more lives. So if you're willing to help out with that, just hop on, leave a quick 30, 60-second review. We would love 5 stars. But if you hate our guts because someone dragged you here and you're like, whatever, 1 star, idiots. That's okay. We'll still donate $10 in your name. We were really having a blast on the road. I'm grateful that, I'm not grateful this happened, but for those of you listening, I'm pointing to my leg and the bandage that's on my leg right now, and the goofy flip-flop and this pillow that I'm sure I'm catching something from. But I'm actually grateful that, this could have been much worse. And I'll tell you this, I lived a life of perpetual stress and anxiety and discontent throughout my 20s, and I was ostensibly successful. But I would have not been able to handle this very well. And there was a level of panic in me because I thought I was going to bleed out on the Love's bathroom floor. But I certainly couldn't have handled that and handled the amount of pain that is, this throbbing that's going on right now is absurd, if I hadn't simplified my life, because dealing with that external clutter in my life has allowed me to deal with the internal clutter, the mental clutter, the emotional clutter, the spiritual clutter, the financial clutter, the stuff that's going on inside. And ultimately, I've become more aware of what's going on inside me, so I can be aware of what's going on around me, and realizing that this could have been so much worse. This will hopefully heal eventually, and I'll be able to move on with my life. And I'm really grateful that you all decided to spend a few hours with us tonight. I know that it costs some money to get in here, and we're grateful that you're willing to give up that resource, but you gave up a couple of really important resources in addition to that. You gave up your time, you gave up your attention, and those are your 2 most precious resources. And so for the folks of you, for those of you who are listening at home, if you're interested in giving up a little bit of your time and attention, you can go to lessisnow.com. We're going to 40 different cities all around the U.S. and Canada, and then maybe we'll go elsewhere next year as well, overseas. We just announced the 2nd leg of the tour as well. So if we're not coming to your city, we're coming to a city within a few hours' drive of you. We'd love to see you out on the road. Before I close it up, I'd love to thank a few people. I already thanked Jess and Sean, but what about this venue for accommodating us? What about the Barrymore Theater? Yeah, I'm just really grateful that awesome places like this are willing to let us sit on the stage and bleed all over their couch cushions. And I'm really grateful for what Ryan's about to do, because this actually pains me a little bit. Afterward, we hang out for an hour or so. We take a 20-minute break, and then we have an awesome hug line. We sign books, we take photos, and all that fun stuff. But I am in a just hideous amount of pain right now, and so Ryan is going to go out there solo. And
if you want me to sign Josh's name, I got his signature down.
That's our backup plan. I've written several books after I die. It's going to be like Tupac. They're just going to keep coming, right?
Yes.
No, so Ryan will be out there, hugs, photos, all that fun stuff, and I owe you a hug for next time. So whether you come to the Milwaukee stop in December and we'll embrace in the snow then, or next time we're in Madison, I'm really grateful you decided to be here. And if you leave here tonight with just one message, we hope it's this. Love people. Oh, by the way, hold on. My partner's here tonight. And Rebecca is hold on. And Rebecca is a Badger.
Yeah. Is that a W you're holding up? Nice.
Yeah. They do the two hands. It's not this. No. All right. I'm out of touch. Yeah, I met the love of my life a few years ago, and she went to school here, lived here for 5 years, and she doesn't speak more highly of any other place than Madison, Wisconsin. So thank you for being here. Thank you. I love you. All right, now if you leave here with one message, we hope it's this. Love people and use things, because the opposite never works. Thanks for your time, y'all.
Thanks so much, Madison.
Hello, my name is Sheila Morris. I am calling you from Edinburgh in Scotland. I'm calling you regarding a gift idea. I have children in their 20s, and this year for Christmas I gave them an annual travel insurance. I know you need to know the people well to be able to order this, but they were so appreciative of a gift that lasts all year round and means that they do not need to think about it. It is there, and I will renew it next Christmas Eve in time for the policy on Christmas Day.
Hey, this is Casey. I just had a minimalist guest tip or thought. I forget what you guys call it. Basically with my phone, I just play a little game with myself. Let's say, so Monday night, I charge it up, wake up, Tuesday, it's 100%. So I can't charge my phone until it dies all the way, or until, obviously, if it's, let's say Wednesday night and it's at 5%, I can charge it because it's my alarm. So I just thought that was a cool game. If your phone dies on you at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, then that's on you, and you got to go the rest of the day without your phone. So just a thought, maybe somebody would like to try it out and have some fun with it.
I wanted to call in to share a recent revelation that I had, which has removed numerous roadblocks I've come up against on my quest for a more minimalist lifestyle: the public library. I hadn't been to the public library since about high school, and I can't believe I had forgotten all of the free resources available at my local library that previously I had been routinely and wastefully paying for. Movies and movie rentals, magazines and magazine subscriptions, books, many of which, if I decided to purchase and not rent, lingered around in my house collecting dust until I got around to minimizing them. Even the due date on the materials I get from the library now is helpful. It motivates me to complete the book or magazine in a timely manner, allowing me to fit in more information over time, which I enjoy since I tend to mosey through those items if I own them, and my interest often grows cold. I'm saving even by having a quiet, well-lighted location with plenty of space and outlets to do work, something I had actually been paying money for by working in places like Starbucks or Barnes & Noble, where I felt pressured to purchase a coffee or snack in exchange for the work location. I don't have those pressures at the library, which is good for my wallet and my health. In fact, I realized I was actually losing money by not using the library, since the tax dollars that I necessarily pay were going towards the upkeep of the library, which I was not utilizing. I encourage all of those who are looking for a more minimalist lifestyle, but who don't want to sacrifice the luxury of indulging in printed or digital media, and a pleasant workspace outside of the home to rediscover their public library and other free offerings in their community. Something that's simple and easy.
Every little thing you think that you need, every little thing you think that you need, every little thing that's just feeding your greed. Oh, I bet that you'd be fine without it. Every little thing that you gotta have, every little thing that you gotta have, you gotta reach for, and you gotta grab. Oh, I bet that you'd be fine without it. So tear your eyes away, or tear